All right. Are we good now? I think we're good now. I think so. I think we are. Wow. Okay. Uh let's get some music. All right. So yeah, Mr. Devin here of Rant and Chill. People will come in later on. There's some buffering issues. I don't know, some issues with the internet over here. We're going to talk about Greg Abbott. We're going to talk about the letter that Greg Abbott sent to the Department of Family Protection Services, the CPS, pretty much trying to order them to investigate families, parents of trans kids that are going through transitioning medical procedures, investigating them for abuse. And this has some people, a lot of people on Twitter very worried, and they're going out and they're speaking out. Whether you for it or against it, let me just tell you, the letter doesn't mean anything. It's not going to, there's no power behind it. I also got to say, seeing these celebrities and these blue check marks on Twitter speak out in outrage, think about, oh man, this is just like targeting trans kids and being mean to trans kids and punching down. There is something to, like, the medical procedures for transitioning. It's not like you can go back from that, because you can't. I mean, they'll say that, oh, it's reversible, but if you take, of course, I'm not a doctor, but you could look at the research and you could just talk to people who transitioned and regret it and are now stuck. It's a difficult issue. It's very politicized. A lot of people are very passionate one way or the other. Okay. I'm more of a, even if my own kids were like to deal with an issue of identity and not feel very satisfied with who they are, the body that they're in, it wouldn't just to jump to hormone treatment and just transition immediately think, oh, you think you're a girl or a boy or whatever. And I do say whatever because what are the other random genders people come up with? So as you can tell, you would probably think the way I'm talking, I'd be for using CPS to kind of investigate these families for abuse, or then the doctors for abuse. But I'm not for that, though, because I don't like the idea of the state doing that. And it's also just an empty gesture. Greg Abbott has no power in this situation. CPS does not do what he's asking them to do. First off, CPS doesn't investigate doctors for abuse or neglect, so that's not happening. Okay? And this is coming from someone who worked for CPS, okay? I worked for 7 years for the Department of Family Protection Services, so I know what I'm talking about. Let me tell you, there's not going to be a caseworker that's going to take you to court to try to remove your kid if you're like trying to transition them, or if the doctor recommends to take hormone therapy or whatever. Like, that's just not happening. The reason why I know that it's not happening is because in order for that to happen, the CPS worker would have to find a doctor that's willing to speak out and speak up and speak out against that sort of practice. Without that without that expert witness, without the professional collateral, there's no weight. There's no evidence. There's no one to suggest that there's actually a danger other than the CPS worker, and that itself is not enough. That's not even credible. It's not credible. It's not you'll learn real fast when you do CPS work that you by yourself, no, you are nothing. But if you have support, okay, then that helps. Then you're great. Okay. But you by yourself, no, not much. No, not going to help, So what I'm saying, if you just with the short version of this and Bell, again, depending on how long the stream will be, I'm just planning on going over it. The short version is there's nothing to worry about. The letter's not going to do anything. I think it's Greg Abbott, just a signal to his base. That's what it is. But yeah, that doesn't come from it. So if you're worried, if you're I don't know, like really progressive, Are you trying to be a trans ally or whatever? You're worried about it? There's nothing to worry about. It's not going to happen. Okay. So let's talk about the letter real fast. Let's go and pull it up. All right. I'm checking stuff real fast. One moment, I'll get the letter out. Okay. Let's talk about this letter. Let's go put it on the screen. All right, so this is the letter here. Okay. It's just a lot of emptiness. It doesn't mean anything. None of this means anything. It's not even enforceable. And I'll get more in detail on that. All right, so February 22nd, 2022, the Honorable Jamie Masters, Commissioner, Texas Department of Family Protection Services, 701 West 51st Street, Austin, Texas. Dear Commissioner Masters, consistent with our correspondence in August 2021, the Office of Attorney General, AOG, has now confirmed in the enclosed opinion that a number of so-called sex change procedures constitute child abuse under the existing Texas law. Because the Texas Department of Family Protection Services, DFPS, is responsible for protecting children from abuse, I hereby direct your agency to conduct a prompt and thorough investigation of any reported instances of these abusive procedures in the state of Texas. Now, hold on. So, you're asking the department to, so what are you gonna do? So check this out. You're a parent of a trans kid who wants to transition or feels uncomfortable with identity. Okay, they go see a doctor, and the doctor recommends hormone therapy, and then later on transitioning and all that stuff. And let's say somehow it gets reported. Let's say there's a father out of the home who has joint custody and reports it to the Department of Family Protection Services. Okay, it's the CPS. So you're going to say, okay, you want CPS, the CPS worker, the investigator, to go, okay, you are doing this procedure. Well, okay, well, if you're doing this procedure, taking these hormones, then we're going to go to court and try to take your kid. Take custody of your kid because that's what you're asking for. The problem you have there right away is you're going to have a CPS worker go against a doctor. Okay? Like, CPS workers don't know shit of anything about medicine. Okay? They're not trained in medicine. CPS workers know nothing about health. They're not trained in healthcare. They don't hold any sort of degree in science. That really, CPS workers are not an expert in anything. That's why you have to get expert witnesses just about in any little thing you do. Without that expert witness, you're kind of a nobody. You're kind of there embarrassing yourself. So there's no support behind this. And it's not like CPS investigators investigate doctors. For what? You're talking about like that's not what they do. What? I want the state to just leave people's children alone, full stop. Exactly, Nordic Nightmare. That's what I want. That's what I want, indeed. This is stupid. This wouldn't even work. This doesn't even make any sense. That's why if you are, for those that are on the left that are like screeching about this, seething about this, it's nothing. It's just he's just flexing. He's flexing nothing. Greg Abbott, wheelchair bound. He's just flexing. That's all. Okay. All right. As AOG opinion number KP0401 makes clear, it is already against the law to subject Texas children to a wide variety of elective procedures for gender transitioning, including reassignment surgeries that can cause sterilization, mastectomies, removals of otherwise healthy body parts, and an administration of puberty blocking drugs are supraphysiologic doses of testosterone or estrogen. Oh, okay. Wait a second. So even if you give someone like estrogen and testosterone, that could be considered abuse? What? Who's gonna report that first off? Okay? Like, this doesn't make any sense. I actually could tell you there's been actually a couple cases. I'm not gonna name names or any locating information or anything particular, okay? It's all gonna be vague and nebulous. But there's actually been a handful of cases that were of the opposite, where it was reported that the child feels emotionally abused because the parents aren't accepting their pronouns and stuff. Okay? I was like, oh crap, this is happening here in Texas. Jesus Christ. And in those cases, what I would tell them is that, and I would tell them this full stop. I'll tell them in the beginning, look, like, I am not in any position to tell you to use the pronoun or to not use the pronoun. That's up to you. That's up to you. Okay? I'll tell them too, like, it's weird for people to try to use the state to enforce pronouns. Okay? It's so stupid. Oh, God. But I've had that. I've had those cases before, and I'm just like, yeah. As long as the parents are, I guess, as long as the parents are treating the child well, providing food, shelter, they're not physically abusing the child. There's a reasonable discipline, expectations. There are services for therapy if she needs it or he or she needs it, and. Okay, if they have that stuff, they're fine. I'm good there. We could have a conversation about respecting each other, and that's kind of going to go both ways. I'm going to, like I say, both ways. Tell the child, look, you want your parents to respect your pronouns, but do you respect their authority here in this house? How often do they have to get on your case about not doing chores or being lazy or whatever? So I don't know. How often do you just say what when your mom or dad talks to you? You instead of saying sir or saying their name, okay? You're not respecting their pronouns. Well, why should they respect yours? That's what I tell them. That's what I tell families pretty much, because I don't think it's the need for families for CPS to be doing this. But going back to, like, who would be reporting this? Like, who would be reporting in the way that Greg Abbott thinks? Someone at school, like a nurse in a doctor's office, another student were to make a report, a teacher were to make a report, be like, oh, this kid's using hormones, using puberty blockers. I think that's abuse. I'm going to go ahead and report that. Okay, let's say it happens that way. Let's say some teacher overheard that the student is taking puberty blockers. All right, it comes in. Someone gets the case. They start going through it, looking into it. They talk to the reporter. Yeah, he has concerns. But then when he reaches out to the family, finds out that the family is seeing a doctor. Okay, the child's seeing a doctor, and the doctor has these recommendations that include hormone, puberty blockers and all this other stuff, and doctor's a psychiatrist or whatever. If the CPS worker then goes, okay, well, that procedure's bad, I'm going to go ahead and staff of legal. Right away, let me just tell you, when that happens, the legal department, the attorney, I don't care what county they're in, it's probably going to be about the same, are going to ask them if they can prove. If they have proof that those procedures pose a serious risk or safety concern. And let me tell you, pulling a random study out of somewhere isn't going to be enough. Okay, you're going to need someone who's going to be willing to testify. And until that happens, there's nothing. In fact, if anything, let me just tell you this: the quick and short of this is this: without a group of doctors willing to testify with this and be like, yeah, these procedures are bad, kids shouldn't do them. Without that, there's no strength to this whatsoever. It is weak sauce. It is super weak sauce. Nothing's gonna happen. It's just a lot of fluff, man. I think, I don't know what Greg Abbott's thinking, you know. I don't know if his mental faculties are just crumbling, because I don't think he understands what CPS does. Nordic Nightmare, sounds like CPS try hard to keep children families. Over here, they're desperate to find an excuse to take custody. Well, it depends. I guess it depends on what state you live in and what county within that state too, because that's going to change a lot of things. Change a lot of how policies enforced. Could change, like, the big thing is going to be, like, especially when it comes to legal, when it comes to court, it's going to be who's the judge. Okay, who's the judge in the area? Who's the DA? All right, that's going to be really important. If they don't have any interest in looking into this and covering this, then they're not going to do it. Like, I tell you right now, there's already counties in Texas that have no interest in doing this, and in fact, actually spoke against it. The DA in San Antonio and the DA in, I believe, Dallas, have spoken out against this. So if they're not going to entertain it, then right away the legal department's be like, yeah, we're not doing that. We're not entertaining that. And the CPS workers just close the case. That's all it is. It's stupid. It's stupid shit. This is stupid shit. All right. And I say this while at the same time, some of these things I do agree could pose potential serious risk to a child. You know, don't get me wrong here. Okay. Some strangers or some new people to the channel may come in and be like, he's like pro, like, transition. I'm hesitant, very hesitant. Okay. I think like it needs to be really seriously considered. You know, all the variables there, the factors that could happen. Because once you do it, what are you supposed to do? Undo the surgery? Just stop taking the blockers? I mean, it takes time for your body to change back, and it doesn't really change back. Okay, there's things that just don't work that way. And you don't have to take it from me. Obviously, I'm not a doctor, right? But just talk to the trans individuals that transition and then regret it and can't revert back, or at least a struggle in doing so anyway. Anyway, but I just think using CPS or trying to use CPS to enforce this, and it's really, really gross. I was appalled by the idea of Canada using their CPS, their Child Protective Services, to try to take the kids from the truckers and the Trucker Freedom Convoy. Yeah, I think, you know, the governor here, Greg Abbott, trying to use CPS for some to take kids away, doing this, bad look. All right, let's see. It goes on to say, Texas law imposes reporting requirements upon all licensed professionals who have direct contact with children who may be subject to such abuse. They're not going to report. They're not going to report whatsoever. They think that these therapists and doctors are just going to report this now. They're not going to report. It's just that. And I'll tell you why they're not going to report. Even if there's a therapist or doctor that actually kind of sees that there could be some harm in these medical procedures, they're not going to report because of the backlash. Most definitely. Okay, imagine that did happen. I guess later on, I don't know how this would happen, because they're talking about a reporter that would be required, a licensed professional like a therapist or a doctor. So let's say a family takes a child to one particular therapist or psychiatrist. They get recommended to have okay, let's start with like puberty blockers. They get that recommendation. Okay, so they're on puberty blockers. Years go by. About a year of that, something happens, and they change the specialist they see. Maybe a different therapist or something, different licensed professional that the child interacts with, and that specialist has their opinions and their view about the puberty blockers. So they go ahead and report it, and they would be anonymous, like the family wouldn't know they were reported on. Okay, but then what you're going to have there is that investigator is going to have a reporter who's a licensed professional who has their own opinion, their own view about how these hormones are bad, or these particular procedures are bad, and impose a serious risk to the child. But then what? Because then you're going to have, like, is the child still going to that one particular doctor, the other one? I mean, it doesn't make any sense there. If they are, and it's like, okay, so now we're going to have like a therapist, their opinion go against the opinion of another doctor. It's like, well, like, what are we doing there? Like, that's real messed up. Oh man, that is such a gray area right there. Oh shit. Because you had that, like, you wouldn't. First off, dumb issue, non-issue. Because once again, the legal department's not even going to pick it up. Because even if we were to staff that with legal, be like, okay, I have this therapist here that thinks there's a serious risk to the child of having these hormone therapies or whatever treatment. But there's this other doctor who says that they don't have a problem with it. In fact, that's the doctor that's administering the stuff. Well, at most you're going to get is a show cause. And the show cause, what that is all the parties are there. Both parties are there to show cause, pretty much. You're gonna, CPS is there trying to show that there's a immediate danger to the child. But that's not. You're gonna be going against another doctor, and good luck on that. Good luck. Yeah, I don't see this going through. I just don't. It seems stupid. So Texas law imposes reporting requirements upon all licensed professionals who have direct contact with children who may be subject to such abuse, including doctors, nurses, teachers. Provides criminal penalties for failure to report such a child abuse. They're not going to report that. They're not reporting it. They're just not. And good luck enforcing that part. And you know what? The DAs are not going to enforce that either. They're not enforcing that. They're not going to. And so he goes on to say, Texas law also imposes a duty on DFPS to investigate the parents of a child who is subject to these abusive gender transitioning procedures, and on other state agencies to investigate licensed facilities where such procedures may exist or may occur. Okay. Yeah, they're not. I don't see how any of this is going to be enforced or backed up. It doesn't have any weight to it. It doesn't have any weight to it whatsoever. So CPS is going to basically ignore this letter? Yeah, they are. They are. Because what is because they don't have anything here, as I explained. Like, let's say you're the CPS worker, right? You got this letter, you're like, oh man. You're like, oh, okay, finally, we could take those kids away from those abusive families. They're trying to, put them on puberty blockers. All right, so let's say you're on that. And you get this case, you find this kid's on puberty blockers. You're like, man, I know that's abusive. I know that's messed up. I know that's wrong. I've watched some YouTube videos. I've read some reports. I've read some medical journals. I know it's messed up. And I've heard the testimonies or stories of other people who transition and regret it. I know it's messed up. I know what it leads to. And you staff that with your legal department. You're not a doctor. You're not a doctor. Everything you think you know doesn't fucking matter. You're not a doctor. And you're not going to be able to explain in a way that's very convincing how you know let's use the language in this here. There's no way you're going to convince the attorney you're talking to, which is the attorney that's going to represent you in this, that this is a abusive gender transitioning procedure. Okay? If there's no doctors that support this, that back this up, this means nothing. This is nothing without any sort of professional witness, and it's going to take more than a governor and a commissioner to do this. Okay, it's going to take more. Take more than that. Okay, let's see. We do have a doctor here. We have Dr. Tim Tucker, State Board of Pharmacy. Looks like you do have some people here. Oh, this could be interesting. Wow, I kind of when I recognize these names. I recognize these names. Oh, okay. Well, even though they are added to this letter, CC to this letter, if the district attorney isn't going to enforce this, if the lawyers aren't going to follow this, then what are they going to do? You're not going to force him to do it. He's not going to have any power on this. Because first off, it's going to be really embarrassing. How is a CPS worker going to like outweigh the testimony of that of a doctor? Like, no. And keep in mind, this letter is CC'd to these people. Like you're not getting. There's not a response from them. I'd be kind of curious what happens later on if there's like a response from these people. There probably is a response, but you're not going to hear about it unless it gets leaked or something. Okay. Yeah, this is a bunch of nothing sauce here, man. Nothing's going to happen here. Nothing's going to happen. Just a whole lot of nothing. There's probably some sort of internal email released to the department talking about this, and then probably has been like, we have no plans to investigate these things because how are you going to do it? The allegation would be physical abuse. For physical abuse, you would have to prove that it is actually abusive. So you're going to have to prove that what the doctor is doing and what the family... See, this is what's messed up. You're going to have to prove that what the family did by going along with the doctor's advice was abusive. You're fucked on this. You're absolutely fucked. Even if you think you're right. And I do agree that some of these procedures are fucked up. You're going to have to prove that what the family did by going with the advice from a doctor, that they abused their kid. Good luck on that. Good luck. The better way to approach this concern would actually be like in the medical community, people stepping up and be like, actually these procedures are not really saving lives because they still are suicidal afterwards and they still kind of hate their body and end up killing themselves and stuff like that. So this is not working. That would be the way to do it. Yeah, the irony, of course, that they're exactly like the left. Right. That's true. But let's see. I did a quick search here, and there's no one in really support of this. Obviously, you're going to have these celebrities speak out about this, of course. You would think this actually open up a dialogue for like the effects of transitioning and what it means and how these kids can't go back if they go all the way or if they go too far. But Let's see. You have Bexar County DA, who's not going to prosecute families. Defying Governor Abbott. Bexar County won't prosecute families for transgender health care. Yep, not going to happen. That's one. Let's see. Dallas District Attorney, I think, the same guy. No, different guy. Dallas Bexar County. Okay. So yeah, a group of district attorneys across the state of Texas are standing in opposition to the governor and the attorney general, saying that they will not take action on cruel directives surrounding transgender children. Earlier this week, and see, this has become all sort of politicized. This is going to be too politicized for anyone to do anything about it. Okay? You know what's messed up too? There are kids that get caught in this mix, and if you hear the stories about these kids that they transition, later on they really regret what happened. It's painful, man. And they were told, they followed the advice of their therapists, their psychiatrists, they followed the advice of experts. But it still led them to a path of hating themselves and wanting to deep throat a revolver. Think about that. Okay. Earlier this week, attorney Greg Paxton released an official opinion calling puberty blockers and medical procedures to change a child's sex as abuse. Under Section 261.001 of the Texas Family Code, which outlines the definitions of abuse and mental or physical abuse to neglect. Yep. Okay. But good luck enforcing that. Really, good luck enforcing that. Dude, this is going to be challenged so fast. Like, they're going to get sued. The department's going to get sued. They are. That's if they go through with this. I would hate to be that caseworker on that fucking case, especially if you have like a supervisor who really pushes. I think most supervisors would be like, "No, we're not doing this. We're not forcing this." Either, and the consequence of that is what? The governor's going to, someone high up is going to scream down your throat. Okay, maybe if they know. But let's say you do for some reason go, you know what? We're going to try to take that family to court, and we're going to try to do a removal over this. And for some reason, things line up, and you do get a DA that's like, yeah, we're going to do it. You get a judge that's like, okay. Or you present it to the judge. And the judge, for some reason, goes, you know what? You're right. That's what the statute says. I know the doctor right here is saying it's not abuse, but the statute says it is. I order this, blah, blah, blah. Okay. They're going to get sued. Be like, I'm sorry. They're going to get sued. And then it's going to be like, are you guys doctors? Do you guys know what these procedures are? They'll get the CPS worker on. What do you know about these procedures? Can you tell me what they are? Can you even tell me what the name of the drug is? And it's like, no, you're not going to be able to tell me anything because you don't know jack shit of anything. This ain't going to happen. This shit's not going to happen. I don't see it. I don't see it happen, man. A day after Paxton released his opinion, Governor Greg Abbott issued a letter to the Department of Family Protection Services directing the agency to conduct prompt and thorough investigations of any reported instances of Texas children being subjected to abusive gender transitioning procedures. The DFPS, in turn, on Wednesday said it will be following Texas law as explained by the Attorney General. Oh. However, the DFPS noted that they were not currently any pending investigations of child abuse involving procedures as mentioned in Paxton's opinion. It's also unclear which specific section of Texas Code gender affirming care violates. That's true too. In a joint statement released Thursday, 5 district attorneys from major Texas metros said they were deeply disturbed by the stance of Abbott and Paxton. Okay, I'm back up here to make sure. Okay, so yeah, they're gonna still. I mean, they're gonna follow the Texas law as far as the family code. It's there's Texas law and there's the family code, the Texas family code, which is a different thing altogether. Has to do with like family court. It's quite convoluted. All right, yeah, I don't see. Okay, let's read some more of this. Anyway, elected officials should be protecting our most vulnerable. Let's see, and here's the thing, man. They're going to milk this. They're going to vilify Greg Abbott. They're going to vilify these people. Oh, man, if you're a caseworker, one of these things, which, by the way, is impossible because CPS doesn't investigate doctors, so I don't know how you could hold a family accountable for following a doctor's advice. Okay? That doesn't make any sense. You'd be like, oh, okay, so you followed the doctor's advice on hormone blockers. Well, they're going to take your kids now. No, that's not happening. The statement signed by Dallas County DA John Krasut, Travis County DA Jose Garza, and Austin Bexar County DA Joe Gonzalez in San Antonio, Nueces County Mark Gonzalez, Corpus Christi, Fort Bend County DA Brian Middleton in Houston laid out plans to only enforce the Constitution and not irrationally and unjustifiably interfere with medical decisions made between children, their parents, and their doctors. Yeah, it's not CPS's job to determine what procedures are abusive or not. Because they're not fucking doctors. They're not doctors. And you're asking for the state of Texas. You're asking, you look at this, you're asking for the state government to step in and be like, all right, this procedure, it's abusive to kids, shut it down. But they don't have that authority. Like, CPS can't shut it down. It can't shut the doctor down. Okay? They don't even investigate doctors. They investigate families. They don't even investigate strangers even, really. Like, if there's someone in the home that's not even a family member, and they do investigate strangers that live in the home. But let's say it's a random stranger outside the home or a neighbor. Let's say a neighbor hit your kid. Okay? CPS doesn't investigate that. Okay? CPS doesn't investigate the neighbor for hitting your kid. Okay? That's a criminal act. It's not CPS shit. Now, if your kid goes to school with a bruise and the teacher doesn't know how it got there and they call, then that might be a CPS issue. But then you explain, oh, my kid got the bruise because my dumbass neighbor hit my kid. But see, I would already assume there'd probably be already a police report related to that shit. And that'd be explained. Maybe. Anyway, so yeah, this isn't going to go through. This is dead. Let's see. At least 5 district attorneys say Abbott Paxton irrationally target transgender youth. Yeah, they're. And watch, what's his name? Fuck, I'm forgetting his name now. Oh shit. The guy who's running for governor is threatening to take the guns away. Oh, Beto O'Rourke. Oh, that piece of shit. Yeah. Watch him. Watch him run on this. Oh, Greg Abbott tried to take your kids. Take out the trans kids. Think of the trans kids. And all these celebrities and blue check marks are like, yeah, let them have these medical procedures. And the truth is, dude, these procedures are probably bad. They are probably bad. And there's research out there. Okay, there's stories out there and there's doctors that are concerned. But good luck of it getting to the light and getting nationwide attention. Because that's going to lead to, well, that's going to be shut down. That's what it is. Abbott needs to read the room. The left has the power over these things. Yeah, and DFPS is pretty left, dude. It's pretty Democrat. It is. It is pretty Democrat for sure. I was like the outlier in my unit. Everyone was already masked and vaxxed, double vaxxed, triple vaxxed. I was like the last one for anything. I barely wore my mask anywhere. Did not care. Be watching or listening to my conservative shit. I don't know, not really. It's goofy, but so yeah, they're not gonna force any of this. All these celebrities, I don't have anything to worry about. They can use this time to, I don't know, hop on their soapbox and get more attention. Look, I'm advocating for your side, for your rights, but you know what? Their rights were not even threatened. Okay, no one was gonna take those kids away. No one at all. There's no power behind it. There's no like experts or professionals that are gonna like back what Abbott said. He really has no power. Okay, that's pretty much it. And that's kind of wraps up this stream pretty much. I could have made it like a one-off video, because what else is there to say about it? You might agree with it. You might disagree with it. When I say you might agree with the idea, regarding the idea of these medical procedures being abusive to kids, especially depending on how pushy the doctor can be or whatever, you might agree it's abusive. You might disagree. Okay. Regardless, it doesn't matter. Like the letter means nothing. Well, I guess it means something. It means then you tried, but whatever. Well, that's something else. All right. Genital mutilation is never helpful. Well, you're right. But you would have to, as a CPS worker, prove that. And the quick dismissal for that, quick rebuttal for that is going to be, are you a doctor? No, I'm not a doctor, but I listen to a lot of YouTube. I listen to Joe Rogan, okay? No, I listen to this particular doctor who had some pretty interesting things to say. It's hard to find his videos, though. You're gonna be shut down real fast. Be like, okay, no, we're done. Dismissed, And there's I am quite interested in what the response will be from like certain doctors in Houston, actually, in the Houston area. But I wonder if we're going to hear anything about that. No, but I practice amateur surgery a lot. right. It's like, be like, Your Honor, what they're asking with this doctor, because hold on, you wouldn't even be taking the doctor to court. CPS has no jurisdiction over the fucking doctor. Not to. You're not. You take a family to court to try to take their kids away for their safety. I try to order a family to do services for the kids' safety. You would never take a doctor to court to shut them down or anything. You don't even investigate doctors. But you would bring up the family. You go to court, I guess. Yeah, you go to court with the. Let's say you have one of these cases and you try to go to court all the way, and it happens. You have a legal team that's like, okay, yeah, we'll do it. Alrighty. You go before the judge. The family's there. They have their attorney. They have the doctor. The doctor was subpoenaed. So they have their professional witness who's going to be the doctor or the therapist, the psychiatrist, or whoever it was, the gender therapist person. And you just have you and your attorney. Good luck. Good luck. Good luck. What, are you going to be like, Your Honor, what they're actually asking little Timmy to do is cut his penis and make it into a vagina. Your Honor, I want you to visually think about what they're going to do. They're going to slice open his dick and mutilate it in a way where it becomes a cavity of sorts, but it's more like a gaping wound. And then to keep it open, he's going to have to keep it dilated using like a light bulb looking thing. Let me show you some images. This, I think, would be really convincing. You'd think you'd have that chance to do that, but no. Because unless you haven't, because that might actually convince a judge that, oh yeah, that procedure's that abusive. And you look at the family and be like, why would you okay that for little Timmy? We're taking your kid away. Right away. Little Timmy, what's wrong with you? You're going to mutilate your dick? Turn it into a vagina? It's not even going to be a working vagina. But without a professional witness to back that up, everything you just said, they'd be like, how do you get this information? Well, you know this guy named Mr. Medicare? No. Okay. Well, on YouTube, there's videos of this operation. You could just watch a video of this operation right now, Your Honor. You could just go to YouTube, go online. You can watch a video. It's a medical procedure. You can watch how it's done. It's pretty horrific. I don't think they would admit that. If you could get that admitted, you got it. You got it, and you'll be the one to prevent little Timmy's dick from being mutilated. You would save little Timmy, and later on down the road, he'll thank you once he realizes, actually, I thought I was identifying as a woman. What turns out is that I'm just a gay guy and I like to get fucked in the ass. Thank you so much for keeping me, saving my dick. Thank you. You'd be a cocksaver. But unfortunately, that's not going to happen. The reality is, the family is going to be like, well, actually, our doctor says little Timmy will commit suicide, likely to commit suicide if he doesn't turn his dick into a vagina. So we're going to have to do it. And Timmy's going like, yeah, I hate myself. I was deep throating a shotgun the other day. I want to mutilate my dick and turn it into a vagina. Okay, that's what it's going to be. That's so stupid. Mr. Medicare forcing Timmy to become a bottom BJ Axel. Oh. Are you prepared for the invasion? Oh shit, that's right. Russia's coming. It's gonna be like Red Alert. Dude, it's gonna be like Red Alert fucking 2. They're coming. Paratroopers. Fucking troopers are coming. Man. Dude, we want to go to war with Russia? Fucking A, dude. This is... I don't know if we're going to survive this one, brothers. Or we're going to... Oh, shit, dude. The world's going to change a lot. Mm-hmm. Fuck. Anyway. With that said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this stream up now. This is funny. This is good. Just... CPS isn't going to have power. Is not going to have any power on this. They're not going to force this shit. Greg Abbott's just... He has nothing here. He has nothing here. No, nothing at all. Anyway, with that said, y'all take it easy.